Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Feels like I haven't seen you in over a year. That's true. It's the most original joke of the year. But in today's video, I want to show you exactly how to start investing in Bitcoin, step by step, how to keep it safe and secure, how to generate some passive income and some interest with it, and most importantly, how to pay your taxes with it automatically, because that's really useful to know. I know that the cryptocurrency space isn't known to be the most ethical of places, so I wanted to make this video to make sure that no one gets taken advantage of, because I know that half this world seems to think that Bitcoin is a scam, no matter what you tell them, and the other half think it's a religion, so don't you dare offend them. So I am somewhere in the middle, because I do think that investing all of your money into it is not a good idea, but having none of your money invested is equally as bad. So hopefully you find this video useful, and before you think that I'm shilling my own investments, because that was one of the reasons I didn't want to make this video, there's a few things you should know about me. I do want you to know though that I am biased, because I did buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, and recently I invested $100,000 into it. I made a video about it, and since then, at the time of making this video, that balance has grown to a little over $300,000, and I do think that both Ethereum and Bitcoin have a lot more room for growth. And I know that sounds fun and exciting, and it is, but there's a few things that you need to understand first before we get into it, which I'll hopefully cover in this video. But if you do me a favor and smash the like button, that'll help me out a lot, because this video took me forever to make. Please remember that first, I am not a licensed professional. Two, I'm not an authority on this subject. There are far smarter and more intelligent and successful people out there in the crypto space that you should probably be listening to, so I don't know why you're watching this video. And three, please remember that the comment section is going to be filled with people pretending to be me to try to steal your money. Please ignore it, because I will never reach out to you and tell you my phone number or to get in touch with my broker, Sir Nicholas Flamellus Voldemortus. And fourth, please only invest what you're comfortable with, because Bitcoin has been around for over 10 years now, and it has withstood every technological test that we have thrown at it. But at the end of the day, we don't know what's around the corner. And even though Bitcoin is probably going to be the most valuable and the one with the most potential, technology is bound to be disrupted in the future, but I do think that Bitcoin is here to stay for a long, long time. So invest only what you're comfortable with. All right, let's get into it with step one, the best brokerage to use. Now, the answer to that depends on what you value the most. For me, that is safety and security, ease of use, and value. So I want to make sure that the money I invest is first and foremost extremely secure. Secondly, I want to make sure that the interface doesn't look like an F-15 fighter jet, because I don't have time to learn it, it's too complicated. And three, I want to make sure I'm getting a good value and I'm not paying too much money in fees. I'm okay with paying a little bit more for an extra added layer of security. Now, all of these brokerages, no matter who you go with, require two things: AML and KYC. That is, know your customer and anti-money laundering laws to be followed. That means all of them will require you to have your ID, your address, your phone number, and everything else that standard brokerages require. So anyway, my two favorite brokerages are Gemini and Coinbase. Now, I have accounts with both, and they are both phenomenal. You can't go wrong with either one. The sign-up process is virtually the same, but generally speaking, the less information you provide to them, the less your limit to buy and sell Bitcoin will be. And the more information you provide, the higher your limit will be. So let me go into the computer and show you exactly what the sign-up process looks like. I'll be using Gemini, because that's the brokerage I use the most. So the first thing it's gonna ask you for is your first name, last name, email address, and password, followed by a phone number. And then on the next screen, it's gonna ask you for a passport photo or a driver's license ID, followed by a passport number and a physical mailing address. Once you complete that, it's good to go. Now, after you've signed up, the next order of business is to make sure our account is safe and secure and that no one can steal our Bitcoins. And you can do that by going to the App Store and downloading a free app called Authy. And this is just to make sure that even if somebody has the username or our email and passwords, they still won't be able to log in and do anything that's harmful unless they have physical access to our phone, which hopefully they don't, unless you're kidnapped. At which point I would just show them this coin roll that I've been practicing, because it looks really cool and it distracts them, and then just play dumb. Bitcoins, what are those? Now, once you've downloaded Authy, Gemini should appear in the app by itself automatically. You can click on it, and then you'll see a 7-digit number that's going to continuously recycle itself every 20 seconds. Gemini will then ask for this 7-digit number periodically just to make sure it's you. But once you're happy, let's move on to the next step. First, you have to fund your account, and Coinbase actually has more ways of funding your account, like with credit cards, for example. But do not ever buy Bitcoin with credit or debit debit cards because their fees are insanely high at 3.49%. That is crazy high because, for reference, the stock market returns 7% per year, and you're just gonna pay half of that up front just to start investing. Don't ever pay 3.49% for anything ever. Instead, connect your bank account. So there's two ways you can do that. The manual way, which is where they'll send you pennies and then you confirm with them ownership of your bank account, but there's a better way, which is to do this. Go to the upper right-hand corner and then click on Account Settings, then Funding Sources, and then clicking on the Automatically Link Bank Account via Plaid option. Now, this uses a third-party software integration where it connects everything automatically, and these brokerages don't have access to your bank accounts. It's only through Plaid, which is a very safe and secure service. So I did it with Plaid and I have 3 accounts connected, but if you do this manually, it'll take you a couple days versus Plaid, which is almost immediate. But once you've connected your funding sources, this is how you can transfer money from your bank into the brokerage. Go to the upper right-hand corner and click on Transfer and then Deposit into Gemini. Now at this point, you're gonna be asked to select a currency. So I'm just gonna use the US dollar here. And in the deposit method, you'll see 2 different options, which is the bank transfer or the ACH transfer, which limits you to $15,000 per day, which I realize is gonna cover most people. But if you're doing more than that like I am, then you're gonna have to go with the wire transfer option. Now, once you hit continue, it's gonna show you a list of instructions of what to do. But one thing that you should absolutely pay attention to is the reference code. And that just tells Gemini exactly which account to deposit your money into so that some random person doesn't end up with your money. That's your unique identifier. And if you're from Europe, you're not gonna be using the wire transfer, you're gonna be using something called the SEPA transfer, or I believe Ideal or SOFORT. And if you're Canadian, you're just out of luck. No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna be using PayPal to withdraw your money, and then to buy it, you're gonna be using debit cards, which isn't the most ideal option, but it's still fine. Okay, once you've funded your account with some gil, Final Fantasy reference, let's finally buy some Bitcoin. So if you see in the front page, you have all these different currencies that you can buy into, but the ones I'm most concerned with are these 2. Bitcoin and Ethereum. They are the most legitimate projects in this space. They were the first, and they have the best, brightest future potential for growth. I do think that Bitcoin is going to replace gold as becoming the next digital standard for gold. And if that happens, the market cap will surpass gold's of $10 trillion, probably sometime this decade, but I'm not sure exactly which year. But Ethereum is actually going to be programmable money. And I do think that it can surpass Bitcoin, not in terms of value per coin, but in terms of the market cap of Ethereum, which, remember, is all the money that is in that space. And that's because if Bitcoin is gold, which has that $10 trillion market cap, if Ethereum is programmable money, which if we compare that to the M1 global monetary supply, that is all the physical money in circulation, that has a much, much larger market cap. But we'll see what happens. Now on this page, let's say if you wanted to buy Bitcoin, all you have to do is just click on it, and then you can select to buy it either once, daily, weekly, etc., whatever you want, and you can enter how much, depending on how much you want to invest, and then click on Review Order, and at this point, you can enter in the payment method and pick which one you want, and then place the order. That's it, hodl for dear life. Before we get into the next step, there's this next part that's very important that I want you to understand, because if you think you're gonna become a millionaire with Bitcoin overnight and then just cash out, there's a few limitations that you might run into, and here's what they are. If you're using Gemini's ACH transfer system, there's a $15,000 daily limit, but a $30,000 monthly limit, and if you're gonna withdraw money to your bank account, there's a $100,000 daily limit. But if you're gonna buy Bitcoin with debit cards, you can only buy $500 at a time per debit card. And like I said before, don't use debit cards, the fees are not worth it, but that's important to know if you're super excited and you wanna buy Bitcoin, only to realize that you can't buy a whole one using debit cards or whatever else you're gonna use. And if you're gonna use Coinbase, it's a similar structure in that it depends on the level of verification. So the more information you give to those sites, like your passport and your social, the higher your limit will be. But hopefully, now that you've bought a Bitcoin, toss a like to your Witcher and let's go to the next step, because once the Bitcoin settles into your account, there's 2 different paths that you can take. Either the cold route or my personal favorite, the hot route. Bam! Just when you least expect it, you get the fire wallet. Don't try that at home. And what I mean by that is you can actually just keep your Bitcoin on the exchange itself, and that's considered a hot wallet. Now, the upside for doing this is that you have instant liquidity, right? Because your Bitcoin can be sold right away, you can exchange it for a different coin, you can make it earn interest on a different website, and all of those things are great. But the downside is that you have to trust that it's those exchanges or businesses that will keep your money safe from computer wizards that try to steal your money. The second route we can take is the cold storage route, which is where we take our coins offline and put it onto the blockchain via something called the Ledger Nano wallet, which I'll show you in a minute. But first I want to show you the hot wallet route, which is what I use because I think your money should always be earning interest and making you passive income. So what I like to use is BlockFi.com, and you can actually use this code right here to get up to $250 worth of free Bitcoins, depending on how much you fund your account. But if you choose to go this route, please follow these next few steps very carefully. Go to the upper part of the website where you'll see deposit. You can click on that and then select the coin you bought from the brokerage. So I'm using Bitcoin as an example, so that's what I would select. And you can see this link right here at the bottom. That is your public wallet address. You can copy that number by pressing on that little page icon and then paste it into your brokerage. So again, let's go back to Gemini. And if you go to transfer, then withdraw from Gemini, you can select the currency, and then where it asks for the destination, that's where you paste the code you got from BlockFi. And then you want to select the amount you want to send. And you want to make sure that your wallet address matches from Gemini what it shows in BlockFi. Because if anything is off, any one digit, then your money is going to just disappear under the table, and you don't want that because it's never coming back. Once you send the money over, it's going to be the most stressful few minutes of your life. Scarier even than waiting for birth results, and that's terrifying. So just please be very careful. These next few minutes, you won't know if you did it right, so if you want, send over a little bit first. That way you don't send the entire balance over and lose it, just to make sure that you got the process right, and then you can send over the rest of the amount. Now, the whole idea about earning interest on crypto is not exclusive to BlockFi. There's also Celsius.network and Nexo.io. And the reason that I really like BlockFi though is because they integrate with Gemini really well. And most of the money that is kept on BlockFi is actually kept in a cold storage wallet with Gemini. So the two have partnered up on this, and I obviously like Gemini. And the other reason why I really trust BlockFi is because if you go inside of their investor relations page, you'll see all of the money that is backing them. This venture capital money is very big and very respected in the industry, and I trust that they are making the best decisions so that if BlockFi disappears, not only is it going to make them look bad, but also the investors themselves. And I trust that they're making good decisions, which is why I've chosen BlockFi. But don't just use the same companies that I'm using. I just want to give you as many variety, or as much variety, sometimes my Russian comes out, as much variety and options as possible. And don't just use my affiliate links if you don't want to, unless you want to help out my channel. But if you're saying to yourself, Andre, this is still far too complicated, I just want to keep my Bitcoin on the exchange. The thing I'll say to you about that is that you're still taking on unnecessary risk without any of the reward of the interest. So if you're gonna do that, instead, send your money to a cold storage offline wallet and into one of these. I feel like Morpheus from the Matrix. They're harvesting humans and turning them into these, a battery. Now, doing this is virtually guaranteed to keep your money in almost the safest place possible, which is literally on the blockchain, which so far no one has been able to crack into. So let me tell you a little bit more about this little device. And here's what it looks like. It's a $59 device, which I will leave a link for down below, but you should definitely get one as soon as your crypto balance reaches at least $1,000. And there's a lot of tutorials to set this thing up, but one thing I'll tell you is once you receive it, you'll get a list of key phrases and words that it'll ask you to write down and hide somewhere. Do not ever take a picture of these keywords, don't ever upload it, and never have someone else set this up for you. Not a fiduciary, not a tax expert, not a banker, not someone pretending to be me, or even me. Because if somebody knows your list of key phrases, they'll be able to access your wallet at any time and steal your money. So as soon as you write that down, hide it somewhere and just forget about it. Because remember, even if you lose this thing or it gets destroyed, you'll still be able to access your Bitcoin Bitcoin as long as you have your little secret list. But that's another reason why I don't recommend using Robinhood to buy crypto with, because it doesn't let you take off your coins and put it into something like this. And in fact, it doesn't even let you do anything I described in this video. So that's the downside of buying and selling Bitcoin for free, is it doesn't give you this flexibility of moving your coins around. Now that you're a crypto expert and you know everything there is to know about Bitcoin, if you've ever bought Bitcoin, sold it, or exchanged it, you probably have to pay some taxes on it. So this is how you can do so automatically. So I use app.taxbit.com, and there's a few other ones, but this one is really great because it automatically integrates with almost every account that I use, minus BlockFi, which hopefully is coming soon. And what you do is you allow access for these websites to view your crypto accounts, but they can't actually go in and make any changes. They can't buy or sell or steal them for themselves. Again, it's just an auditor role. So in Gemini's case, if you go to settings and you go to API under the programmatic access, you can just give them an auditor role, and then they'll be able to just go in there automatically, and they calculate all of your buys, all of your sells, and it just aggregates everything for you. And then you can print out that sheet, give it to your tax person, and everything is automatically calculated. But you can also use my link down below. It's a referral code for 10% off. I have no idea what I get out of it because it's not a affiliate link, it's a referral code. So if you're gonna invite your friends to do it, don't give them my link. Give them your own, and then they'll get 10% off, and you'll get whatever it is you'll get. Now, I'm not supposed to say this, and it's not something I condone doing, and it's not something I've ever done before, but for the sake of completion, you should know this next part. If you value privacy and the ability to buy, sell, and exchange cryptocurrency without the government's knowledge or involvement, there's two websites that allow you to do that, and they are localcryptos.com and local.bitcoin.com. And you can think of them as sort of like the Craigslist or the OfferUp of the crypto world, in that your local people can just meet up, exchange money, you can get the crypto right away, and you get shelter from taxation, but in exchange, you'll be paying a much higher premium, and you're taking a risk for sure. And at the end of the day, I don't condone doing this because I do think that you should pay your taxes, and it's personally not something I could get away with anyway, because I have a YouTube channel and everything I make with regards to crypto and otherwise is out there in the open. So if the IRS is like, "Where's your crypto, Andre?" What crypto? Now that you have that, for the sake of completion, just please use your powers for good, be responsible, be safe, and pay your taxes. Overall, I think Bitcoin is going to take off as soon as a few companies from the S&P 500 admit publicly that they've converted part of their cash reserves into Bitcoin, which I think will happen soon. Maybe Tesla will be the first. Elon, where you at? He doesn't watch my videos, but that would be super cool. If you found this video useful, please share it with your friends if you think they can get some use out of it. And in the meantime, you can get some free stocks from Webull by depositing $100. You'll get a few free stocks. You can get another free stock from Robinhood. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you back here on Monday and Friday, sometimes a Wednesday. Love you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, and Happy New Year.